please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good afternoon. The markets look good as we speak. It is a good afternoon. This is Your Stocks. I'm Mangla Malu. With me is Sumaira Abdi. Sumaira holding above that 10,600 mark. And as we speak, we talk about Tata consultancy services all through today. Infosys has said that, okay, I'll be the largest contributor to the Nifty today. You might be the $100 billion guy.
Yeah, that's true actually. And, and it's not just Infosys actually. Look at the moves in mid-cap IT. I mean, it looks like just no one wants to get left behind. But anyway, all in all, it looks good for now. Even something like a Reliance is doing well. So that is boding well. But the market has climbed down a tad actually. So now it's just about 170 points higher on the Sensex. What are you picking up on the options activity? Well,
two things, Sumaira. This week is the expiry week, so a lot of money perhaps is looking to be eaten into as far as premiums are concerned. We're above the 10,600 mark, so the 10,600 put should come up for you. 17 lakh shares added out there. The premiums declined about 30%. So maybe the bulls believe that 10,550 is a mark that can be defended. And lower end, the 10,500 put too has seen a fair amount of writing for about 11 lakh shares added in open interest with a premium of 16 rupees. So the bulls pretty happy with the kind of moves that we've seen in the markets today. But let's take a look at the top headlines that we're tracking at this point in time.
Time now to welcome our two experts. We'll have Gaurang Shah and Prakash Gaba joining in to answer all the queries that are being sent in from our viewers. So let's get started. Our first query comes to us from Kritika Singhal, who writes to us from Kolkata. Kritika says that she holds 50 shares in Cholamandalam Investment. Incidentally, that's due to report numbers anytime now. She has bought in at 1320 rupees. She's been holding now for the last 3 months. She's a medium-term investor and wants to know what she should do at these levels. Gentlemen, good afternoon to both of you. Prakash, let me come to you first. Since she's only bought about 3 months ago, she's a medium-term investor. What would your call be?
Hold it. Have a stop below 1425 or so and continue. Basically, the structure is positive. We can see an up move. We could even see some sideways correction. Doesn't bother me. Can climb up even higher. Just to protect the profits, have a stop below 1425. Continue holding it.
All right, have a stop below 1425. Continue holding it. Gaurang, your view on Chola Finance? They lend to CV players, and CV sales have shown a lot of traction. That stock is at 52-week high.
And I think the concentration down south is very strong in terms of footprints, Mangalam. And our sense is that with the policy changes in terms of scrapping of old vehicles, demand from fleet owners, as well as restrictions on tonnage, towing, loading the vehicle, all this will augur well. In fact, GST also has turned out to be positive tailwind for commercial vehicle manufacturing companies as well as financiers of commercial vehicle, pre-owned as well as new. So continue to hold on, but need to extend the time horizon.
All right, need to extend the time horizon. So that's the view coming in from both Prakash and Gaurang. Hold on to that stock. Let's move on to the next one. Kinjal C writes to us from Goa, holds 250 shares of Bharti Infratel at 210 rupees for the last 4 years. A long-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Prakash, she is making money in Bharti Infratel. For the long term, she's been holding for the last 4 years. So what would you say?
Continue holding it, Ben, and look at the structure. It's about the cost price, strong support in the vicinity of 300. As long as 300 holds, I think it's fine. I actually don't mind even taking partial profits off here and holding the balance with the cost. Stop below 300.
Gaurang, what's your take on Bharti Infratel? Incidentally, that's another company where numbers are due. What are you expecting and what would your advice be?
So, well, the entire sector has gone through a lot of turmoil and a lot of headwinds, but our sense is that this company should do well, though the upside looks protected, not really much higher. So I would definitely reckon with what Prakash has just advised. Can take part money off the table, but continue to remain invested in the rest. Hope the numbers are positive. I think later on in the day, like you rightly mentioned, they should possibly add some tailwind. But again, commentary from the management would be something that we'll be looking forward to.
All right, so that's the word on Bharti Infratel. Remain invested for now. In fact, it looks like earnings are the flavor this afternoon. because Jayashree has written in to us from Gujarat, and she wants to talk about Bharat Financial. She's looking to invest 35,000 rupees in Bharat Financial for the long term and wants to know if this is the right time to actually be buying in. Gaurang, once again, an investor looking to buy in before an event, and also before, of course, that whole acquisition by IndusInd Bank actually kicks in and takes effect. What would your advice be?
So my sense is that it's, like you rightly mentioned, if the merger has to go through between Bharat Financials and IndusInd Bank, I would rather vote for IndusInd Bank as an investment idea, and she's looking for a fresh investment. We believe that opting for IndusInd Bank, and hope the merger goes through more. It may take some while to get the approvals and getting through all the authorities in terms of clearances. But rather than buying Bharat Financials, our sense is that IndusInd Bank would be a preferred choice.
We have a few queries that are still coming through. Narinder Adlaka is our next caller who now joins us on the line from Haryana. He has investments in HDFC Bank. Hi sir, how can we help you? Hello Narendra ji, बताइए आपका क्या सवाल है?
मैम मेरे पास HDFC बैंक के 6 शेयर्स हैं at the rate of 616 rupees.
Okay.
And I am a long term investor.
Okay. और आपको फिलहाल ज़रूरत है पैसे की कि आप इसको निकालना चाहते हैं, या अगर एडवाइस है कि आप बने रहें तो आपको बने रहने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है?
नहीं मैम, मेरे को कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है पैसे की.
Okay. Prakash, let me come to you first on this. Of course, fundamental news is that the earnings came over the weekend looking stable as always. But technically, how is it looking to you for somebody who's willing to remain invested? What are the upside levels to watch for?
Time for disclosure again. I hold this stock since IPO days. Hold it for long term. Just don't sell it. SIP methods works fine here. Keep investing money. It's got only 6 stocks. Keep adding. That's it.
Okay, तो आपके लिए राय यही है कि आप periodically इसमें पैसे डालते रहिए. ये इसे एक SIP की तरह ट्रीट कीजिए. Fundamentally, any complaints that anyone can have from HDFC Bank?
Well, if Prakash Gaba has the stock in his portfolio, I don't think you need a second opinion, to be very honest. And as a disclosure again, Mangalam, we've been recommending both the twins, in fact, HDFC Limited and HDFC Bank, and we saw the numbers unfold on Saturday last week. You're absolutely right, no complaints whatsoever, and these are like, long-term players and gems in your portfolio, so continue to hold on, and in fact, I would second that thought. Go on adding small amounts in terms of SIP in case if you have investable amount.
All right, Narinder ji, HDFC Bank में बने रहिए और add करते रहिए. Let's move on to the next one. Rishabh Mutha writes to us from Bengaluru, holds 20 shares of Reliance Naval and Engineering at 61.2 rupees for the last 8 months. Short-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. 61 rupees, Prakash, going down to 27. Holding for the last 8 months is a short-term investor. What would you recommend?
Short-term investor held on for long.
Yeah.
Exit. I don't like the structure. It's weak structure. Best thing to do is to exit.
Okay, Gaurang?
Well, just a word of advice, a little bit more than what Prakash has suggested. You need to be disciplined when you buy short term. You can't let your capital erode 50% and then ask questions. If you want to play the defense, and if you're looking at a smaller size stock, as a disclosure, we do have a positive coverage on Astro Micro. I think that's where you need to invest from a long-term point of view, and by definition, Sumera, long-term on the basis of defense, FDI, if you need to invest, you need to have at least 3-year, 4-year plus time horizon.
All right, well, that's the word on Reliance Naval. Gaurang saying that he prefers other stocks. But look at some of, Tata LXI, that stock has seen a very strong run through the day. It's now beginning to come off just a tad bit. So watch out for that. United Spirits is another one now coming off the day's high.
On Infosys, that stock had seen a sharp rally ahead of the investor meeting in today's trading session, rather post today's trading session, but now it seems to have come off the high point of the day by about 1%. So the day's high was closer to around that 12.15 odd mark. From there, we've seen a correction of about 20 rupees on Infosys. But a couple of these pharma names, they're doing fairly well. So the likes of Cipla as well as Lupin, both of them should come up for you at the high point of the day. But we have Jignesh Gandhi writing to us from Ahmedabad, holds 500 shares of LIC Housing Finance at 514 rupees for the last 2.5 years. Long-term investor. Housing finance, Prakash, your view?
Basically, the structure is positive, seen a correction, the correction's got over, looks like it's seen a good bounce from 500 zones, time to hold. If you want to add here, have a stop below what you add, have a stop below 490, and what you add, where do you exit? Around 650 zones. So continue holding.
Right, Gaurang, here as well, numbers are expected this afternoon. What's your take?
Again, you know, Sumera, last 2 quarters were painful, both for LIC Housing as well as Canfin Homes. And we did see the stock retrace on the lower side on fallback of those numbers. But we remain extremely positive about the entire HFC, that is housing finance companies. And since I have mentioned the name, prudent disclosure, both LIC Housing as well as Canfin Homes, we remain extremely positive. So continue to hold on, and as Prakash mentioned, you get bad days and dips, you can definitely add to it.
All right, up next, we have a query coming through from Giri Prasad, who writes to us from Tamil Nadu. He holds 1,400 shares of India Bulls Ventures at 31.20. He bought about a year and a half ago. He's a long-term investor and wants to know what to do, Prakash. He's making about 5 lakhs in profit.
Hold on just to protect the profit, have a stop below 240. In case if it goes down, at least you lock in. It's not going to break 240. So continue holding it. Who knows where it goes? Maybe Gaurang knows better.
Gaurang?
Unfortunately, we don't cover this stock, but yes, you're deep in the money.
Okay, deep in the money. Let's go to our next caller. Then we have Prosen Jitlaha calling us from Kolkata with a query. Prosen? Go ahead. आपका सवाल बताइए प्रोसेन जी.
हाँ बोलिए.
ओके, प्रोसेन जी, आपके पास डेल्टा कॉप के शेयर्स हैं, आपको उस पर क्या राय चाहिए?
200 शेयर है.
On the verge of giving up that 10,600 mark, where good 20-25 points off the high point of the day that we saw just a few minutes back. Infosys is the stock that should come up for you. We have been speaking about how it came off the high point of the day. The IT index is actually giving up, seeing some bit of profit taking. TCS, in fact, has fallen about 3.5% from the high point of the day. We have Tech Mahindra too down about 2% from the high point of the day. So that is adding some bit of pressure. But from the mid-cap scheme of things, we're looking okay. ICICI Pru should come up for you. ICICI Pru Life has now moved to the high point of the day with a gain of close to around 4%. That stock all through this year has not really done much. In fact, it's been flat from the start of this year, but adding on to some gains in today's trading session. So let's move on to the next query that we have. We have Shiv Kumar writing to us from Pune, holds 50 shares of SBI at 260 rupees a piece. A long-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Gaurang, people say do not get into PSU banks unless it is SBI. He's been holding it for the last 2 years. The price is pretty much there as compared to the other PSU banks which have seen a sharp price erosion. What would you suggest?
So Mangalam, the view is that the fourth quarter and the next 2 quarters for this financial year is going to be extremely painful because of the issues that public sector bank and select few private sector banks have to deal with. But NCLT, IBC and other policy changes that the government has put in place, we're quite sure that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you will see resolutions coming through thick and thin as we go by the next couple of quarters. So if you have maybe a year and a half, 2 time horizon, we would definitely recommend to continue to hold SBI, and you get bad days somewhere close to about 220, 225, you can even average or add to it.
Prakash, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I like from a longer term perspective, yes, I would say have an SIP here. Super. Keep coming down, keep adding.
Okay. I have another question for you, Prakash. Since you're such a keen investor in IPOs, did you buy into TCS as well?
No, I never bought it. never.
Is that one of your regrets?
No, that time I didn't have money.
Okay, in that case it works out well. But Gaurav, what have you made of the recent up move? Is it still good for more?
So Sumera, November 2016, the stock was at 2060, 2070 or thereabouts. We remained positive at that point of time when almost everyone on the street was treating IT as an untouchable. We remained positive then. Our confidence has only got reinforced with the recent developments, and we believe there is still a lot more in terms of long-term investment. But at current levels, if you ask me if you want to invest afresh, I would say wait for a dip, and you can definitely look at TCS.
All right, wait for a dip, but for the long term, TCS looks good. That's the view coming in from Gaurang as well as Prakash. But let's shift focus back to TCS. The big story of the day, the first Indian company to hit the $100 billion in market cap mark. Anuj joins in to recap this incredible journey.
TCS, of course, has hit a market cap of $100 billion. And let's track the special journey of a very special company. It listed, of course, in August 2004 at a market cap of 47,000 crores, which at that point, of course, was $10 billion. And in a country like India, you'll have to take into account that rupee will always keep depreciating. So that also is an important factor. September 2006 is when it first doubled its market cap and hit 1 lakh crores. After that, a bit of a hiatus, but October 2010 is when it hit 2 lakh crores. And after that, again, a bit of a hiatus before it hit 3 lakh crores in March 2013. After that, a very quick fire 1 lakh crores was added in same year itself in December 2013. And October 2014 is when we had 5 lakh crores. After that, the Indian IT went through a bear market of its own. Values were destroyed by a lot of companies. You saw the revenue growth and profit growth fall, but TCS found its mojo back and in Jan 2018 hit 6 lakh crores. Today, of course, hit 6.8 lakh crores, easily crossed the $100 billion. What if you had invested in TCS's IPO, 1 lakh shares? Today, the value would be worth 16 lakh, a bit more than that actually now, and dividend also 21,000. Most of it, of course, is tax-free. Now, the key point here is when TCS listed, Infosys was the bellwether, and for good reasons, because it had created wealth so many times over. That, of course, would always remain the case with Infosys because it listed at a market cap of less than 1,000 crores. So TCS listed a 25% discount to Infosys, and it took 6 years for TCS to catch up with Infosys. But after that, there was no looking back. It just kept gaining momentum and kept gaining size. In fact, now it's 2.5 times of Infosys. And in fact, if you take into account the entire IT pack in India, all the IT stocks put together, even they can't match up to TCS. TCS is now 52%. Infosys, of course, 20%. HCL Tech, Wipro, and Tech Mahindra making up the rest of the IT pack. But truly phenomenal. And just one more point. It says a lot about the corporate governance standards as well for Tata Sons and Tata Group. They recently sold stake at 2,800 per share. And after that, you have seen a 17-18% rally. And of course, great results as well. So big salute to TCS from the market, $100 billion market cap.
Touche to that, Anuj. Thanks very much. We'll wrap up on your stocks. I need to thank our two experts, Gaurang, Prakash. Thank you very much for your advice today.